Well, that looks to be 13 millimeter. Now we gotta get this, pan under it to drain the fluid out. Now we're going to have to let this drain for a while, and then we'll have to get up in here and take a bolt out so we can take the axles out. Okay, this little bolt right up in here holds this pin in right here. Now I did have to jack up the other side. This other side here with a jack stand and a jack so it would be safe, and then I had to turn over the axle to get it into this position. But this is 8 millimeter right here, and this little bolt has to come out first. It's sort of like a set screw. Now make sure that you don't lose this little bolt. Right there, that area right here, right there. There's no set screw there, it's on the other side. So this hole has to correspond with that set screw. But the C-clip right here, it's all loose because I pushed the axle in. Now I got to try to get that out of there, and looks like it's going to be very difficult to get out. Okay, here's the problem. The seal, if you can see it down there, it's sticking out about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. It's sticking out. It will not allow the axle to go back this way. It has to go back this way. So I'm going to try to sawzall that and see if that solves the problem. All right, I tried different things to try to get this C-clip out. And by the way, here's the shaft that I took out that hold the spider gears, and here's the bolt that holds this shaft, and here's the hole where this bolt goes through. Sort of a set screw is what I've been calling it. Also, we'll look at where the C-clip goes. Okay, I had to put the brake caliper back on because I thought I was going to have to turn it over to get that C-clip out. But fortunately, with the screwdriver and that tool that I made, I'll have to take this caliper off again so I can get the axle out. Well, I was going to use this on a grinder, but I didn't need to, and so I bought several cutoff wheels, and I finally ended up trying this one. But putting this on this grinder, putting it on this grinder made it this big. and that looked kind of dangerous, since I would have to get my eyes right in the line of fire in order to see it. So I didn't think that would work. I also thought about using a Sawzall. I did try that, but it butchered up the end of the axle tube. So we're just trying different things, and it's kind of frustrating. If I didn't mention it before, this is a 9 1/4 inch rear end, and I believe this is an American axle from the American Axle Company, but I'm not sure. Here's where the C-clip goes, right in here. That was very difficult to get that out because the seal is coming out part way. So I made this tool. And I took a wrench, and this is 15/16, and I butchered it up and tried to make it at an angle. See, because if you put this wrench up there, it's at a severe angle. So I got that all ground up. I used a cutoff wheel, and I'm going to show that to butcher this thing up. Okay, now I got to take this caliper bracket off, whole caliper. So I got a piece of wire, put it on there first, because you're going to take this caliper bracket off, and you're going to have something to hang it up, because you don't want to disconnect the brake line. Otherwise you will have to bleed the brakes, and bleeding the brakes is not easy, because you have to do it with a helper. Okay, here is the whole problem why I was talking about the grinder. All right, just sort of imagine that your hub is right here and your rotor and everything. Well, this seal has popped out some, and here's the bearing back in here. Well, it popped out enough that the C-clip wouldn't come out easily. Fortunately, and I banged on this with a sledgehammer and everything to try to drive this seal and bearing back in there. It's been beat out. Also, somebody thought it was wise to take off the emergency brake. Whoever had this before me. Well, I guess that wasn't a very good idea. So I didn't have any emergency brake, and the emergency brake isn't any good anyway, because back here the cable is all messed up. Right there. It's got a break in it. Well, part of the seal came out. Some automotive stores have tool loan programs, and so I got this tool. This is going to help me take the bearing out, and what you do is take this part of it, put this in where the bearing is, and then flip it like this, and then start using this slide hammer. It slides on this gizmo here. So I'm going to tighten this up. I've got this bolt right here welded on. I got the nut welded on, and I'm going to use this bolt as a set screw. I don't know if that's going to interfere with the shoes and everything for the emergency brake or not, but I've got this started. This is a repair bearing. It has a lot of things that are different from a regular bearing.